Alright, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to another installment of PopDust Presents. I'm your host, Deascent, and today we have a man of many talents. He sings, he raps, he plays guitar, he produces, he slices, he dices, and for the low price of $9.99, he might even marry you. I want y'all to give it up for Tattoo Money.
What up, man? What's the deal?
Thank you for coming on,
What up, PopDust people?
And thank you, bro. It's been long overdue,
Hell yeah.
but finally got you here. Thank you for stopping by on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, kicking it us. We're here at PopDust on the couch, so let the world know who you are, man.
Tattoo Money, hip-hop singer-songwriter, born and raised in Brooklyn. I love long walks on the beach. Strong caffeine, loud women and loud music.
Don't forget pro wrestling.
Oh, and of course, pro wrestling.
The sport of kings.
The sport of kings. The only true sport.
Well, like you said, man, Brooklyn born, Brooklyn bred, know what I'm saying? Singer, songwriter, and me and this man have been rocking for God knows how long at this point. But
Yeah, man.
and he's one of my favorite artists as well as people on the face of this planet.
Oh my God, thank you. I pay him to say that. He get a Venmo every time he compliment me.
Know what I'm saying? Gotta keep that cash app stacked, know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, man, once again, thank you for joining us and give the people your background as a musician.
So I grew up in Brooklyn in East Flatbush in like the hood. So naturally my first inclinations into music was hip hop. Started rapping at 9 and just got obsessed with it. It's like once I started doing music, I immediately knew that this is what I wanted to do. Even to the point where, and this is like a stupid, but this is like youth logic. So I was into art, like drawing, and I got accepted into like a bunch of like art high schools, like graphic design, graphic arts, art and design, and like during that time I caught the music bug so much, and I was like, yo, I want to go to high school and start a rap group. And this was my logic. So Westinghouse, which is a school that I went to, which like Biggie went there, Jay-Z, Busta. So Westinghouse had this reputation of having mad dudes in the school because they say that it used to be an all-boys school, and then over time it became an all-girls school.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, all right, if we got mad dudes, that means I could find a partner for a rap group. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Westinghouse, and I put the art down and just went headfirst into the music. And then by the end of high school, I started falling in love with rock music even more. And so for pretty much my college and adult life, it became mainly rock music. But I always felt like I had this skill of rap, so it just became time to mix the two together.
Dope, man. So what was it like growing up in that type of environment where, like you said, it's most noted for reading hip-hop and hip-hop music? What was it like being exposed to rock music and still living in that environment?
It was funny because I remember like one time I'm walking down the block with my guitar and I had eyebrow piercing and like fire red hair, and this lady drives by in the car and she's like, "Hey, rock and roll man." So that was it. Then there'll be times I'm walking down the block and little kids see me walk by and he's like, "Tight ass pants." So, and I'm like, "My man, I will destroy you." So that's pretty much kind of what it was. It was like you definitely stood out, but I've always preferred standing out than fitting in. And then I found a small group of friends who were all like the same way. Like we were always the only black dudes at the rock concerts. So I had this little group of friends who had that commonality. So you had, everybody else used to look at us like we was crazy, but for us,
It's a way of life.
Yeah.
Exactly. So tell people how you came up with the name Tattoo Money.
So Tattoo Money came, so before I was doing this project, I was in another band, and that band was doing pretty well. It was doing really well. And so the thing with me is that I love to create. And so I needed another outlet. So I started doing Tattoo Money and started doing this project. And for the name came from two things. One is like, I do music because I love it. I have to create it. And it's like, my whole thing is like, as long as I got money for clothes, food, and tattoos, That's all I need. You know what I mean? So that's where Tattoo Money came from. And then also it was because, the other group was feeding me financially. So I'm like, this I'm right here, I'm doing for love and for Tattoo Money. So that's where it came from.
Nice. So, tell the people who are some of your influences musically
Oh, man.
and style-wise, because you're a pretty fresh dude. So,
Thank you.
know what I'm
See,
saying?
his
So,
Venmo just popped up
know what I'm
again.
saying? Cash app stack. You know what I'm saying?
The dollar emoji just passed.
Yeah.
It just went up.
Musically, my influences have always been people that I listen to today. Like me being black and playing the guitar and being left-handed, I get Jimi Hendrix all day. You play like Jimmy, and I'm like, man, I don't listen to Jimi Hendrix.
You hear that, black people?
Yeah, he's not.
Not
the only
every
one.
black person who listens to rock and roll listens to Jimi Hendrix.
Dude. And the thing about it, oh man,
No disrespect.
But so in terms of it's just everywhere. Like I love John Mayer, but then I also have a My Chemical Romance Black Parade tattoo on my arm. So I was a big My Chemical Romance fan. But in terms of rock, it's fans from like John Mayer, My Chemical Romance, Avenged Sevenfold. Two big influences in terms of like guitar playing and producing for me was Arctic Monkeys and Cold War Kids. Like I've seen Cold War Kids practically every time they came to. I've lost count. It's over like 12 times I've seen them. And
Fall Out Boy.
Oh yeah, Fall Out Boy for sure. Fall Out Boy has been a big influence, and mainly Patrick Stump, the lead singer. He did this solo album, his solo project in between their hiatus, and just knowing that he like produced all of this stuff himself really was a big influence for me in terms of like making it a one-man show and doing everything myself. In terms of hip hop, I'm Andre 3000
Of course.
is the GOAT to me. I love 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is just
True.
2 Chainz is just brilliant to me. And then a lot of grime. Like I love Stormzy, Skepta, Chip,
Dizzy Rascal.
Gigs, yeah, Dizzy of course, Gigs, Novelist. I just like grime because I feel like when you listen to grime, you still hear them use the word MC, and you still hear them talk about being the best. Like they care about being nice.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of hip hop that I grew up listening to. It lends itself more than that, like Wu-Tang, and when people used to rap about being the nicest and nobody could beat me. So the stuff I listen to now that inspires me is stuff like grime, rock from all over the place, from soft stuff to super heavy stuff. Right now I'm into Leaf Vollerbeck. He's really, really dope. It's just all over the place.
Oh, that's dope, man. So, how do you take all these different influences and create the sound that is Tattoo Money? Because oftentimes when people get inspired by other people, they tend to not necessarily use that source as inspiration. They use it as sort of a template and just pretty much use their voice. Use their voice to pretty much say things that already been said in a way that it's already been said. But how do you keep it authentic? How do you keep it fresh?
Well, I think starting out, everybody usually starts out copying somebody that they inspired by. Like when I first started rapping, I was in love with Smith and Wesson and friggin' Boot Camp Click, and I'm rapping about smoking and all
Brooklyn,
that.
Man.
Yeah, man. Dude, let me tell you something. I was so into Boot Camp Click. Me and my boy, I had dreads. I only wore Timbs. I remember in one of the songs, Sean Price was like, yo, if you wear fatigues and sneakers, you soft. Me and my boys never wore fatigues and sneakers ever again. It was only Timbs. Like my whole goal in life was to be a part of Boot Camp Click. Still I was signed to Duck Down still to this day. Just cuz. Like I always say, I prefer to stay independent, but like just for nostalgia, I would rock with Duck Down. But
Buckshot, if you watching,
yeah, man.
holla at my man.
In terms of like to me, like in life in general, we are all the sum of our inspirations. You know what I'm saying? We're the sum of our mother and father. You know what I'm saying? Like we're the sum. So for me, it's like taking your inspirations and putting them together to make something brand new. You know what I'm saying? Like I have, like you said, my inspirations. I have different inspirations for different things. Like when it comes to like playing the guitar, John Mayer may be my inspiration. But when it comes to like drums, it might be Patrick from the Black Keys. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when it comes to the synth, it's like Temper Trap and bands like that. So it's like when I take all of those things and put them together, it's something new. So it's like taking your inspirations and letting them inspire you, but not letting them shape you. Like I feel like a lot of artists today, when they inspired to be like somebody, they think that means sounding like them. Like early on, I was like, all right, I want to be like Andre 3000 in the sense of I want to be amazing, and I also want to make something different.
Yeah, you want to be, for lack of a better term, genre fluid. Like
Yeah.
you can shift
I want to
in
be
and out of
different
genres.
like him. Like some people look at a rapper and say, I want to be like him, so I must sound like him. To me, it's I want to be like him, but I want to be like him because he's different. He's the man. He's different. So for me, it's like, okay, I have to be different to be like him. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, or a skill set. Like for me, when I want to be like somebody, it's always in terms of skill set. It's like, all right, I want to be like this person. I want to be as nice as this person, but at my own stuff. So for me, it's just taking inspiration, it's just putting everything together that I'm into this one thing, and honoring those people that I love and inspired me, and also bringing my skill level up to that, so I could be in a room with them one day and not be scared shitless.
Dope. So, a few months ago, we featured your song "Caffeine on an Empty Stomach" on
Yeah,
PopDust.com. Tell the viewers a little bit about the song and the video for those who haven't seen or heard it.
Cool. Yeah, the video, which this man, he'll leave out, he was in, and he was actually one of the best actors in it.
His Venmo just went up.
Like literally, he had scenes where like he had to be aggressive towards me, and I was legit scared. And I'm like, he's really channeling right now. So the concept behind the song "Caffeine on an Empty Stomach" was, it was just pretty much talking about stereotypes and how your own people can stereotype you and other people can stereotype you. Like me being black and playing this music that has these rock elements in it and these hip hop elements in it, it gets me in to both rooms, but it also gets me people looking at me crazy in both rooms. You know what I mean? Like I've done shows with rock bands at like Arlene's Grocery, and I walk in, guitar, big ass pedal board, amp, and they'll be like, "Are you the DJ?" And I'm like, "My man, where did you see that?" You know what I mean? And then when I used to do hip hop shows, they used to swear I was a R&B singer or something else, and I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm about to bury y'all." You know? So there's like the first verse is about dealing with that musical stereotype of, you know, only, like we talked about, only referencing friggin' Jimi Hendrix. That's the only, like, if you black and you play rock music, you have to be Jimi Hendrix. And the second verse is more about the stereotypes that people put on themselves. You know what I mean? Like I've had black people tell me, you know, I'm not black enough, or, you know, when I'm in the car and I put on Incubus and they like, put on some black music. And I'm like, put on some black music. I'm like, if you go to any concert, at any hip hop concert in an arena, and take a race census, who's in the audience, you tell me which music is white people music, which music is black people music. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the second verse is about that, and then I dig into stuff like, you know, like the hyper masculinity issue in the hood, man. Like I said, me and my boys used to walk around, fitted jeans, crazy color hair. We be called gay all day. Just, you know what I'm saying? Jamaican dude, you're a chichi man. You know what I mean? All of that.
Bati boy.
Yeah, all of that. And I'm like, really, man? I'm like, because I was talking to your girl earlier, and she feels very. She's way more open-minded than you. So, right. But yeah, so it's like that thing is like a plague in the hood, and it's a lot of violence and stuff that goes on in the hood is caused by that hyper masculinity of everybody feeling like they got to be tough. That stuff is corny, man. Yeah. It's like, if I want to show you I'm tough, if it has to escalate to a physical level, I'll show you then. Until then, there's nothing in the world is that serious. You
exactly. One of the more interesting things about a lot of the songs that you put out is the titles. Like you got songs like "Caffeine on an Empty Stomach," you got "Wolf Tickets," you got "Coco Curious." You know, what is some of the inspiration that comes from some of these song titles? Because they're rather unique and they're very, very descriptive.
Yeah, a lot of times I start out with the title and then work backwards with the songs. A lot of them started out like that. And then sometimes it's like I work on a beat and I'll hear the beat and it'll have no words and I'll just name it, like name the beat something. And I'm like, okay. Like "Caffeine on an Empty Stomach" was a beat first. I started making the beat on my iPad on the train, actually, on GarageBand. And I'm like, this sounds like "Caffeine on an Empty Stomach." And because I probably was on some caffeine at the time that I wrote it. If I was awake on the train, because I'm usually sleeping on it. So Yeah, so it's just different. It's just like it comes from like different places. But in terms of the new music, so I finished the EP about a year ago, and the EP I produced everything using only 3 instruments, literally everything you see here.
Nice.
Like I wanted to. The inspiration came from. I remember I was in junior high school, and we had an English teacher, and used to always have like essays, and they used to always be like, it has to be a minimum of so and so amount of pages. And I remember I had a teacher. He was like, all right, you guys have an assignment. You have to write about this subject, and you have to do it with a maximum of 500 words. And we was all celebrating, but in the end, the thing was that he was like, you have to be able to get your point across with this minimum amount of time. And as a rapper, we got 16 bars to tell a story or to make a point.
Shit, not even that. These days is 8.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it was the fact, okay, like you saw my setup before, pedal board, mad stuff. I was like, I want to do something minimalistic and see what I can create with just 3 things. You know what I mean? Like the best inventions in life have been from people not having or doing what they can with the little bit of amount. You know what I mean? Like the dude who invented the sandwich or the hamburger. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a, oh, I got everything. That's the, let me see what I got. Let me see what I got.
We can make it stretch.
Yeah. So for me, it was a challenge in creativity. Also, I wanted to do a singer-songwriter project, but the Tattoo Money way, not just with the acoustic guitar. I think even me, and I play the acoustic guitar, but I feel like the acoustic guitar has this corny connotation and stigma to it. Like if I go to a concert, I hate when the acoustic set comes on. I'm like, come on, man, that ain't what I want to hear. I need my ears to ring. So for me, it was like, how can I take something that I kind of don't even love and make it dope, make it cool to me? And so so I produced all of the songs with just these 3 instruments, and the reaction at the shows was new. It was different. I had people crying. I had people coming to me telling me that they decided they were going to go to the Women's March after hearing one of my songs and things like that. So I'm like, okay, this project is something different. It's more, it's bigger than just songs about girls and being single. And so once I finished it, instead of dropping it all at once, more songs kept flowing. So I was like, you know what? Instead of dropping it all at once, I'm going to put out a song here, a song here, a song here. And so that's what I've been doing. Black Girl Magic was the first single. Then we did Caffeine. And then I dropped Liars a couple of months ago. And so the next one is going to be this song called Levels. And Levels is the love song of the EP. And I wrote that song. This is the first love song I've wrote about a real person. For me, like I've always loved writing breakup songs and fight songs. And that's always been from experience. It's fun to write those. But for me, when it came to writing love songs, I always felt like it was better to write a love song from the experience of
Being in love?
No, actually from experience of someone who's never been in love before. Like a robot. Like if you say to the robot, describe love, and they're like, love is blah blah blah. Because I feel like, let's be honest, the fantastic dream, never experienced idea of love is way cooler than the real thing. I mean, I love my girl to the moon and back, but like when you think of love before you get into it, you don't think about the fights, about taking out the garbage and stuff. You don't think about that. So when I wrote love songs, it was always from the point of not being in love. And writing it of that glamorous idea from somebody who's never been in love, that this is what I think love is. And so I've been with my girl. We met on Tinder, actually. One swipe right on the Saturday morning, and she swiped first. And she swiped first.
Progressive.
You know what I'm saying? One swipe right on the Saturday morning, and we almost 3 years later, we still here. So she used to always ask me, she'd always joke me like, how much do you love me? How much do you love me? And, I used to hit her with all of the cool ones. I love you the way a fat kid loved cake. I love you the way Rick Ross loved Wingstop. All of those. And I used to always be like, I just can't put it into words all the time because there's levels to it. You know what I mean? And then so I wrote the song Levels for her. And so that's going to be the next single. And It's dropping on Friday. It's gonna be Apple Music, iTunes, everywhere, and Spotify, and it's gonna premiere actually on this Netflix show On My Block. It's gonna be episode 10, so skip the episode 10 and watch that a lot, so I can get those
We
checks.
getting to the bag this year.
Get those checks
we getting
coming
to the
back.
bag this year. Talking Netflix money. You know what I'm saying?
So,
it's levels to the bag now.
That's gonna be the place I premiere it. But it's a fun song because everything in the song, every word is 100% true, which she actually doesn't like because there are some things that said that she's like, I don't need people to know that, and she told me she was gonna write a response diss track. But she wanted me to produce it because she doesn't know how to make music. So I'm excited to have that one out. That one is a lot of people's favorite. I was surprised because it's so personal. Like, it's literally our relationship to a beat rhyming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, will people like that? Like, well, can they relate to some of
You
it?
actually performed it at Way Station.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first time I heard it, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely gonna be something special. And at the time, she didn't hear it.
Yeah, she hadn't even heard it yet. The first time I performed it, she had never heard it. Even when I was making it, because we lived together, when I was making it, I would play the beat, but I would never let her hear the lyrics. I would wait till either she wasn't there to write it, or I would wait till she would sleep and write it. Yeah, I think the first time she heard it was at a show, which, yeah, it was a miracle that I was able to keep that under wraps all that time.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta, keep certain things away from your girl. I love you, baby, but I'm saying you gotta let the art breathe sometime. But going back to what you said about just it coming from an honest space, you tend to do that with a lot of your music, and it may have somewhat of a comical, satirical spin on it, but it's all very honest. How are you able to take some of the most honest and raw emotions and just put them into a frame that everyday normal people can digest?
In terms of like the whole, like the humor part to my music, it's not always intentional, but you know what it is? I'm weird, and that's the way I deal with stuff. But that's the way I deal with serious stuff, is to like add some levity to the room. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a funeral or something, and I gotta be the one to crack that joke, just because that's how I deal with stuff. And so with music, with life in general, there's so much heavy stuff going on that I feel like when I put these subjects together, it's the whole, adding sugar to the medicine. It's like, I'm giving you medicine, but I'm going to give you something sweet so that you don't know that I'm giving you this medicine. In terms of the subject matter, it's like, like my music before this EP, it was a lot about relationships and stuff like that. But there's just so much going in the world right now that's like, you can't ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't ignore some of the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, in this country. And, I had to start telling those stories and telling my story, telling other people's stories. People can relate because this is stuff that's really going on. And the stuff that I talk about that really happened with me, I guess if you feel that I'm being genuine about it, because I'm always speaking from a place of it really happening, then hopefully that's where we can connect. Unfortunately, it's a shame that there's certain things that we bond over, like being followed in the store or stuff like that. But the subject matter is just always real life to me. That's why I don't get when certain people have to like fake stuff. I'm like, it's just so much easier to write about real life and make your life, like, wake up, live life, make that shit rhyme. That's the song.
Okay.
I just want to thank you for having me. Thank the people at PopDust for having me. Just check out the music, man. Check out the music. Look me up, Tattoo Money. Google me. I'm at the top now. Not in the image search, though. I got to step that up. TattooMoneyMusic.com. Again, I'm on all streaming services, so whatever you got, if you a baller and you on Tidal, I'm there too. Sign up to my mailing list. Be the first to hear everything. I'm dropping a new song every month, non-stop until I'm tired, until I can't. But I feel so good. I'm so inspired. I think I'm going to just keep going.
So you get levels on Friday.
Get levels on Friday.
Get on that level.
Get on that level. Vince, stop pushing Roman, man. We don't want him. Nakamura, Clear Daniel Bryan. I know if there's any place Vince McMahon is right now, it's watching PopDust right now.
Yeah, he definitely is.
In Stamford, Connecticut.
You have to watch, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that we do not get Roman winning at WrestleMania.
It's sad because you just know that's gonna
It's
be
gonna happen. But we'll be back with our wrestling hot takes. But thank you again, man. He's Tattoo Money. I'm Deascent. This is PopDust Presents, and we're out of here.